Broncos country, what is going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, morning, or evening whenever you are watching this. And I wanted to talk about a player tonight that I'm hoping the Broncos definitely key in on when they get to day two, depending on if they're able to acquire a second round draft pick or another third or move up in the third. There's a player right now coming out of the University of Oregon that I feel like would be a phenomenal fit opposite of Pat Surtain, giving us a secondary that I think could put us in some of the best in the AFC here in a year or two, no doubt. And that is Khyree Jackson. You might ask, who is Khyree Jackson? He's a 6'3", 200-pound corner from Oregon. And being a Buffs fan, being a Buffs alum, I mean, I got to see Khyree Jackson shut down his side of the field against my Colorado Buffaloes and Shedeur Sanders earlier this year. And that's when I really started getting put on to Khyree Jackson, because this guy was making tackles. This guy was physical. This guy was getting his arm up in there all the time with receivers, breaking up passes. It felt like he had really good handwork. And when you see a corner that has 6'3" size, that has a really long wingspan, you can't ignore that. You can't ignore it. Now, why is he not projected to go in the first round? I don't know. I'll leave that up to the draft experts. I wonder if that's mainly because he's a senior, not necessarily a junior, didn't have the best track record until taking a really big leap this past year at Oregon, was a guy who originally transferred from Alabama. So if you know anything about Alabama, they put in first round DBs every year pretty much. And Khyree Jackson, recruited to that program by Nick Saban, he knows how to scout, how to bring in and develop cornerbacks. And so Khyree Jackson was part of that Alabama Crimson Tide secondary before coming out here to Eugene and really having a phenomenal year. Gave up only 19 receptions, a quarterback passer rating of 41.6. Played in 12 games this year, which was great. 520 total snaps, 320 coverage snaps. So there's a lot to look at. Only gave up 200 yards and a touchdown, guys. Had 3 picks as well. And you can see, I mean, he mainly lines up on that boundary. Maybe he can play slot. I'm not sure at the NFL level, but I did want to show you, if you're not familiar with his game, credit to Under the Radar Prospects. Please subscribe to them. I will link them in the channel. But I wanted to share this highlight video, some of this highlight that they put together that just shows off his skills. Again, 3 interceptions, 2 sacks, 34 tackles on the year. He was very, very good. Again, I do not own this footage for educational purposes. And you can see him coming up here making this tackle there against Portland State. And he came up big time in the clutch against Texas Tech. I don't think they win this game without him. Go watch this game through. Comes up with a big time interception here that really starts to flip the momentum for Oregon. And then again, coming up with a very big stop here on 3rd down in the 4th quarter. Really good open field tackler. I don't know if he makes like the flashiest plays. You know, I haven't seen anything that's like, okay, Travis Hunter or something like that, but that's not the norm anyways. I feel like this guy is very sound. He plays very technically sound from what I see. And again, when you see a guy that has 6'3" size, that is physical, that can press, and then look how he gets his hands in there to break this up. This is stuff that I just saw all the time when watching them this year in the Pac-12. And I think 3 or 4 times Shedeur went after him in one-on-one coverage, and Khyree locked up the field. I mean, if you look at what he did against our best receiver right here in Zay Weaver, he gives him no room to run. And I mean, should have come up with that interception, but I mean, this is just really solid stuff. And Xavier Weaver, I mean, he's going to be another NFL draft pick this year. He was our best receiver this past year with the Buffs. And again, look how he just gets that little hand in there against Tavares Dawson. Look at that. And when you got a long wingspan like that, I mean, look at that. Look at that. His arms, he's got long arms. I mean, his hands are almost touching his knees. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I think he's got really good size. And I'll show you one more clip. Again, go check out the full highlight tape of Khyree Jackson when you can. Good open field tackler. He makes that tackle on Dylan Edwards, the Buffs' probably fastest player. Look really good. And then look at these hands against Javon Antonio. Look at that. Batting the ball away. So you pair him opposite of Pat Surtain. I think we could have another piece in developing that next no-fly zone that we loved having here in 2015, right? And then that allows Riley Moss and Jaquan McMillan to kind of fight for that third cornerback position. We didn't really see much from Riley Moss. Can he play a little bit of slot? I don't know. We'll need to see. But I think when you feel confident that you can go at least 4 deep at the cornerback position, that's great. And I really do hope the Broncos target somebody like Khyree Jackson here in the 3rd round. Right now, I think Pro Football Focus has him right now as 57th best player. So, yeah, that's I guess, end of the 2nd round or so, if I'm doing my math correctly. But in a lot of the mock drafts that I've done, he's fallen to me at the 3rd round with the Broncos pick at 78 or whatever it is. So I think, though, that based on how he performs at the combine, he might have to be a player in which Sean Payton would need to trade up to get, or if we trade back from 12, acquiring some more picks to hopefully we can be within this range to target Khyree Jackson. But if he's taken, another guy that I'll do a video on here at some point will be cornerback Cam Hart out of Notre Dame. He's another cornerback that I think has really good size, some decent ball skills too. But I think it's a must that we add to the secondary in this year's draft using one of our 6 or 7 picks on that. So y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. What are your thoughts on the current secondary right now? What do you think about Khyree Jackson? I'm probably pumping him up more than probably some other people here on YouTube, but I think he has things you can't teach, like the size, like the wingspan, and we saw him be very productive. So get him right now working with Jim Leonard. That could be a deadly combo, him and Pat Surtain. So y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would appreciate a subscribe as well. We're on the way to 100 subs. And if you like college football, go ahead and support me on getting up to 7,000 subs with David Talks Buff. So until next time, Broncos country, I'll see you later. Go Broncos.